So most of you have not, or most of you might have watched some of our, interviews and testimonies. But Engineer Joyce is here, and she's going to be talking about her experience on the field. Just listen to, to tell you where she's coming from, her background, and what she do at work. And since she works with AWS as well, right? Feel free to ask her, questions. Okay, and all of that. So thank you so much for coming in, and there you go.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. My name is Joyce, and I work as a DevOps engineer for, I think, like 3 years now. And it's been amazing. And I'm glad to have you here to encourage you as you are about to embark on this new career, for those who are yet to embark on it, and for those who are already in class. So my background is in law, because that question always pops up about what if I don't have an IT background. I did not have an IT background prior to now. I didn't know anything. Like, I always thought that IT was maths, and I was not really a maths person. So I always just shy away from, I never ever thought or saw myself as anybody as someone who could venture into anything IT, because like I said, I thought it was maths. And I don't like maths. So when I came to Canada, I came with a degree in law. And just like Casey said, when I came, I got quickly into the PSW job, like the care, giving care to the kids and stuff. So I was there for a while, and then COVID struck, and I equally had like my first baby. So it was during my maternity leave for the first child that I went in for the course, and I've never regretted doing it. Yeah. So like you said, anything that you put in your mind, anything you put your mind in to do, anything you set your mind on to do, it doesn't matter if it's a new thing to you. There's always a first time after all. Most of us, as it talked about driving, most of us do drive, but there was a first day that we got into a car as novice, and we didn't know anything like what button to press or where to place your leg. But after the training, you're able to drive. So if you're here and you want to do the IT, you want to do DevOps, it's very doable, notwithstanding your background. All you need is yourself. All you need is your determination. All you need is your drive, the drive to make it. Yes. What companies have you worked for? I have worked just with one company since I started working. I've been working with IBM. I work with IBM Canada, and I haven't worked with any other company. I've been there, and it's been amazing. I've not had any reason to go to somewhere else, because it's an amazing place to work. I have opportunity to study. You have a lot of opportunity for growth. So I've been in IBM, if that answers your question. Yes. So it's Prof here. I always like to go with questions, because I don't always know what someone will want to hear.
Okay, yeah. So I guess yeah, I'm just gonna ask one more question. Like, okay, so for those of them that are in class already, they have studied something like source code management, Git, all of that. Can you just tell them, how crucial the source code management is? In fact, some of the tools that you use at work, why you studied it in class, and the ones that you end up working with on a day-to-day basis. I think that for those who are interviewing, those who just got hired like Babila, they really want to kind of understand, by the way, how was your first day at work like, I mean, like that experience as well. Because from day one to, to 3 years, it's not 3 days. People get work, get a job, and within 3 weeks they're fired.
Sure.
They let go, and all of that. So yeah.
So
So yeah, you can throw more light on that. That would be so wonderful.
Sure. I'd like to say concerning starting work, the fear of starting a new thing, I'll say you're all blessed to be here, because you have many engineers who are already working, who have been working for long. Before you start your job, we are going to help you to, coach you. There are some questions you ask, because you're going in not as a student who just graduated. You're going in as as a DevOps engineer, as a seasoned DevOps engineer, like KJ said, you're not a novice. So, but there's a way for you to act like somebody who has worked. So there's some questions we are going to give you some hints. If you want to ask something from your colleague, you're not going to say how do you do this? You can ask them, how is this done in your environment? So it gives the idea that you know how to do it previously in your environment, but this is a different environment. Every company has their way of doing things. So you could ask them, how do you do this in your environment? How is it done here? And so we are here to coach you on how to start. We're going to hold your hands. We're able to set up, because they just give they send your computer to you. They're not going to tell you how to set up yourself, to create your account. We are going to be there to help you with those first days at work, those first week. And there's always onboarding. Every company has an onboarding program. Some companies have longer onboarding, some have shorter onboarding. I had like 3 months of onboarding for the first 3 months at work, or even more. I don't remember doing anything. I don't remember typing one command, because there's a lot of background check. And during those periods, you have the opportunity to go through the run book. Every company has, they have run books, like Casey talked about. Run books are, it's like documentation of how things are done. So you have the time to go through the run book on the documentation, to see how this is done, to see this was done last year by this person, this was done. So you see how the documents have been updated with time. So you have the time to be onboarded. The team is there to onboard you, because they don't just take you, even if you have a PhD in DevOps engineer, if there's anything like that, they will not just take you and throw you into their project, because it's money. It's a real-time thing. So they have to take time to teach you, so that you know exactly what you're doing, and you have to always ask questions as well. So he talked about the tools I use on a day-to-day basis. Like Casey said, here at LionTech, you're going to be taught a lot of tools. And when you get to work, you're not going to use half of what you're being taught, but you're going to be like a subject matter expert. You have an idea. So we're taught Ansible here, but I've never used Ansible at work. We're taught Kubernetes here, which is a big deal, but because what I do, I've not had to work with Kubernetes. What I use on a daily basis is Git and GitHub, which is a source control tool, which is very important. That's where the developers write their code and store it. So all the updating is done there. Everybody has access to the remote repository for your Git and GitHub. So that's one of the tools I use on the daily basis. Another tool I use on a daily basis is Terraform. I work extensively in Terraform because I work as an infrastructure engineer. So everything I have to do on the code, it has to pass through Git and then Terraform and then AWS. So every day I am between Git, Terraform, AWS, Git, Terraform, AWS. Sometimes I might have to go to Jenkins to check on what is happening. I might want to go to Docker to see something about Docker files, but not often. My work is always around those 3 tools. But every company is different, and every job description is different. So somebody might be working full-time on Kubernetes. Some other person might be working full-time on, I don't know, maybe on Ansible. So it's good because you have an idea of everything. And then when you start working, according to what you're doing, you're going to narrow down to particular tools. And then there you're going to have the opportunity to study more, to dig deep, because you have like an environment to actually practice. Most of these things like AWS, you just don't go around building things on it because it costs you money. But in the work environment, you have lab environment where you can do your own things by yourself. You can do your testing, and then you have the real projects to work on. So you have the opportunity to learn more, because what you learn in class is deep, but you cannot really go as much deep because you're not creating a lot of real time. You're just doing some scenarios for you to see how it's done. But at work, you have real projects that are mounted on AWS. So you have the opportunity to learn more about AWS. And also, like they said, it's all about collaboration. You only have access to what you're working on. If you're not working on a database, you're not going to have access to that database because it costs money. They will not allow you to just go on that database and be deleting stuff or working on stuff. You only have access. So access is very important. Permissions are very important. Authorization is very important. You're only authorized to do something that you're allowed to do. So if you're not allowed to do, you don't even have the permission, you will not have the password, you will not have any of those. You only work on what you are supposed to work on, if that makes sense. Let's see, there are some questions here. Are you the only DevOps engineer at work? Where are the challenging moments when you newly started? How did you resolve the challenges? No, I'm not the only DevOps engineer. With IBM, we have over hundreds of thousands of employees, and it's strictly, it's like a technical company, if I can say so. So they have lots of DevOps engineers. We have different projects. I work as a consultant. So as a consultant, you have the opportunity to work for different companies. So IBM sourced the contract from those companies, and then you are working for them. You're working on their behalf, and you can work for Costco, you can be working for TD, you can work on different projects, and those different projects will give you opportunity to work on different environments, different tools, different ways of doing things. So I'm not the only DevOps engineer. We are so many. In my team alone, we are 10 of us, 10 DevOps engineers. And then we have other sub-teams around that. If I want to ask a question, I can reach out to them. I have friends who are DevOps engineers who are not in my team, who are not in my project, but we are in the same Slack. We share a common Slack environment, so I can reach out. I have my Cameroonian friends, because it's a very big company. I have my Cameroonian friends, I have my Nigerian friends, I have people that we just chat our own things that are not even DevOps related, because it's really a big community. And talking about, were there challenging moments when you newly started? Yes, I would say there's always going to be, there's nothing good that comes easy, or like just comes easily, right? I had challenging moments just starting. There are times that you might have colleagues that are difficult to work with. You might have something that is, you might not really be conversant with some things, but it's not any challenge that is beyond you, because like we said, you're not working on your own. It's not your personal stuff. So you are not allowed to do anything, to take some decisions by yourself. That's why we have team meetings, we have stand-up meetings. Stand-up meetings are for us to deliberate on something. And then the reason we have stand-up meetings is for you to say, what is your blocker? What are you working on? I'm working on this. And do you have any blocker? If you have a blocker, you say that. Sometimes that we use our meetings for troubleshooting. So everybody has given their updates, for example, and they say, okay, if there is no update again, we can go. So Joyce, you can stay on the call so we can see how we can solve this. And anybody who is interested in learning, because somebody, it might not be, it might be my ticket and I have an issue in it, and you, maybe if that ticket was yours, you will not still know it, because they were like, okay, maybe let's give that ticket to Jack, for example, and Jack said he doesn't know it as well. So Jack too might want to stay in that meeting, and then some other person who has been in the company for a while, who has done similar project, will be there, and then we are going to troubleshoot together. And sometimes it can take us days to troubleshoot, and if we are not having a headway, we might look for some way of changing it completely. So even if you have a challenge, it's not your personal challenge. It's not for you to deal with alone. Of course, you have to study. So your own, where the responsibility comes in is you have to study. In the meeting, you tell them, this is what because, for example, AWS has a lot of documentation. So if it's concerning AWS, I had a ticket that had to do with I've forgotten what it was, but it was AWS, and it has a lot of documentation. So I had to go through it, study myself, and then try to do the steps, to follow the steps. And then I wasn't succeeding. Then I can bring it. So you just don't fold your arms and say, I'm not able to do it. You're not able to do it. So what have you tried to do? What have you done? And then maybe there is an error. What is your error message? That's even where it starts. You're trying to run a command and there's an error message. You have to screenshot the error message, share it with them. This is the error I'm getting. Some other person will be like, oh, from this error, I think it's permission. I think it's your security. I think it's this. But if you've not done anything and then you just say you don't know what to do, means you're not supposed to be there. You must try, because like I said, YouTube is your friend. When you start working, you see project that some other person has done. Google is your friend when you start working. And then you also have other work platforms where you have lots of projects. People screenshot their error messages, and then somebody comes and tells you, there's something they call Stack Overflow. It's one of those platforms. It's paid and the companies pay for it. So most engineers will post possible questions like blockers, error messages, and then somebody will tell you, come and you see comments, they'll give different comments of somebody from India, somebody from wherever will come and give a comment about what this, I had the same error and this was what I did and it worked for me. Some other person in China will say I had this error, somebody in Canada and all of that. So you have an idea, you have about 5, 6, 7, 8 solutions on it that you can go and try it. And if still doesn't work, then you can come back to ask, share with your colleague, this is the error I'm getting.
Okay, yeah. So somebody's asking, what do you mean by tickets? And then also, yeah, as that somebody was also asking, do you have to work 8 hours? Are you 8 hours on the screen all the time? And somebody was asking about work-life balance. So I think you can just answer those 3 questions, everything in the go. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Am I on the screen 8 hours a day? No, that's not even possible. You work you have, let me just use a ticket. Ticket is like, we have sprint meetings. Sprint meeting, like KJ said, in his case, it's 2 weeks. So we can say this is the task, or these are the tasks we have to work on for these 2 weeks, or for this 1 week, or for these 3 weeks, as the case may be. And those tasks are broken down into tickets. And those tickets for order and for communication, it has names. Every environment name their stuff in the kind of way, such that if you're building an infrastructure, you have to name it this way so that it is recognized by ourselves and by the tools we are using. So those tickets have names. So we have, for example, 5 tickets for this sprint, and then we have 5 of us. So we divide those 5 tickets among ourselves. So I own a ticket. I am working on that ticket. You own your ticket. You're working on that ticket. I might decide to wake up at night and work on my ticket. And then during the day, I might even have a doctor's appointment. I might want to go somewhere, and I have no issue going anywhere. That is how it works in my environment. We have 1 meeting every day, and the meeting usually lasts for 50 minutes. And it's not on camera. It's not even a video meeting. You just come on the meeting. There is one person that is sharing the meeting. He greets you or she greets you. And then, what are we working on? You can start, Joyce. What are you working on today? I'll tell them I'm working on this ticket. And then, do you have a blocker? I don't have a blocker. Oh, yes, I have a blocker. This is my blocker. Okay, we'll talk about your blocker later. Jack, what are you working on? Okay, what are you working on? And they will just say what, and then as you are seeing it, somebody sharing their screen. So we are all seeing, because we have we have the Jira board is open. The Jira board is where we post the tickets. So as I'm talking about what I'm doing, they are seeing my progress. Maybe I've done this, I've created the infrastructure, I need to do that. So they are seeing what we are doing. If somebody has a comment about my ticket, the person can make the comment. This, after, when they are done, they go to the next person's ticket. That is what tickets are. And do I spend 8 hours on this thing on the screen? No, I don't. And work-life balance, I am a mom of 2, and I'm able to survive. I'm a church girl. I have a lot of church programs. I have a lot of programs at home with children, and I even do others. I have my side hustle. I do hair at home sometimes. So I have all the time to do it, right? That's because some people, maybe when I started, I did not have all the time, but with time, you get to master your environment. You know what you have to do. You know when to do it. You know when to wake up at night. And if you know that your kids are sleeping at night, I might wake up at night and study and do most of my work. And you can even write in your Slack channel, you tell them, I might not be available in the morning. If you have anything, ping me, but I might not be available because I'm going to spend the night time or the evening time to do most of my work. So there is an excellent work-life balance, and I work from home. It's true that sometimes it becomes challenging to even go out, except for groceries or to go to the gym. I'm just in the house, just turning around because I have my kids at home and stuff. So I will not ask for any other thing than this work, like the work-life balance that I get from where I am. Casey has his hands.
Okay, yeah, hold on. Before you go to Kay, somebody asked a very interesting question. How much did your first salary impact you and your family life?
That's a good one. That's a good one. The leap, it was too much from what I was doing when I came here. I did course, no, not even, I did the PSW for some months, then COVID came, then I did bilingual customer service because I could speak English and French, and I was working from home still. And my salary in those two jobs, I think is like, I don't know whether it's 7 times or 10 times the leap. When you hear of a leap, the leap is like, it was a serious springboard. So I'll not tell you how much it was, but it really impacted my family and myself. It made me feel good in my skin. If I answer your question, yeah.
So I think, Mr. Casey, you want to come in, that's fine. You can unmute yourself as well. I think you're a co-host.
Okay, thank you. There's a very one question that I just wanted to answer there, right? Somebody asked about certificate and other. Having certificate is good, don't get me wrong, right? But there is nothing better than going for the interview and making a mark with or without certificates, right? You can go there with all of the certificates and you are just talking out of point. They will not take you because of the certificate. It's not possible, right? If you have the opportunity to get certificate, get certificate. But if you ask me, I would say, make sure that you master this and know it, right? So that when you are delivering, your delivering is apt, is on point, right? That convinces them more than your certificates.
Yep.
Later on, when you get to the job, you can get all the certificates you want. It's not hard to get certificates, right? Even the certificate expires, so you have to be renewing some certificate every other time.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah. So, and on the issue of, thank you, Joyce. Joyce's environment still give her some leeways to have some time to herself, right? But there are some organizations that you get to, you will have basically like up to 10 tasks for the sprint, right? And apart from that, you also have some emergency situations that will come up, right? And when those things come up, you now look at your tasks, your Jira tasks, of course, with your team, right? They will look at the Jira tasks and they will decide, okay, we are removing this because it's not high priority. Let's put this that is high priority to it. So those are the things, the factors that play in this kind of situation. And for the leap also that she mentioned, which is very high, to me also very high, right? But even better is that there are companies that you get to. Once you start, they will give you sign-on bonus. That's what you call sign-on bonus. So you can imagine when you get a sign-on bonus of 10,000 at once, boom. Do you understand? That's not your salary. Just thank you. We are employing you. Okay, take this 10,000 and get ready. Do you understand? So that is I enjoyed it. So that's why if I didn't enjoy it, I won't tell you I enjoyed it. I got a sign-on bonus. So it's something that is worthwhile. You won't regret doing this part. I will honestly tell you that.
Yeah, talking about certificate, like KG said, I never got any certificate, but now that I'm working, I remember I talked about the fact that we have opportunity to study and to grow. It's now that I'm going in for I just had 2 certifications because I have the time and then the company is paying for it. And even if you have certificate, before they will ask for certificate after they have interviewed you. That would just be like an add-on because the certificate will not work for you. The certificate will not speak for you. It's not just technical. They want to know that you have good communication skills. There are other interpersonal skills that they need to ascertain from you when they interview you. So that the certificate cannot help you in that because anybody can study and then go for certification. It's mostly MCQ question, so you might not need to say anything to anybody. You just do your
and just to add to that, why certificate is not even really a big deal in today's industry. If you're on LinkedIn, right? I don't know if you guys have gotten these Indian people get into your inbox that they can write certifications for you.
Yes.
So that has made the whole thing, employers don't really look at those things like on a very serious basis. And that's why the company themselves wants to they want to organize for you to go and write the certification under a more, under a more strict monitoring process. So, set these days is very easy to have. Some of them is that you can pay people, they can even go and write for you. You understand? And it all depends too, on the set, but a lot of those things are happening, a lot of fraud in the whole thing. But now, companies are now kind of organizing themselves. Exactly. They're all over Facebook, sending asking to dump to you. So that's what that's what the company wants to see you. They want to talk to you. They want to get to know who you are, hear you talk, because, again, it's all about the experience, right? Somebody who went to school and come out with maybe, a master's degree in plumbing and cannot fix a leak, or cannot even, walk through a process on how he or she is going to start investigating a leak. When you arrive at a client's house and there's a leak, maybe what if the client goes, oh, oh, there's a leak at my home, or why should I say, okay, wait, I am 2 hours away, I'm driving? No, right? Somebody who has been walking, say, what? Where is the shut off valve? Shut off the water now. Okay, thank you so much. Go on and wait. That is experience talking. Meanwhile, the guy will have a PhD. Says, okay, I think it has to be a mechanical, electrical. You understand? Giving you some long theoretical nonsense that will not even help you. So again, what? There is set and there's experience. In tech, what gives you the job and keep the job is your experience. It's not the sets. Set just adds validation to what you already know. You understand? So like, somebody, okay, let's say what you are. Probably you've been doing, can we stay? You know what I mean, for like 10 years. So now, let's just go to the court now and I know what I'm saying. Go have a marriage certificate, right? To back up our marriage. Simple. So set is to back you up, and we're in the system. So that's great. I think it's one.
Asking, were you being paid during your onboarding period? Yes, you're being paid during your because you're already working for them. So it's in their own interest to teach you to do the work for them work. So you're being paid during your onboarding. From the moment you sign your offer letter, the date that is stipulated on your offer letter is a date when they start counting, the 2 weeks for them to pay your salary. So yes, the answer is yes.
Okay, I think this is great. Now let's get to hear from the boss himself. So Kezi is here. Thank you so much.